let's warm up. Today's activity is called Follow the Leader. I'm going to start walking, and all you have to do is walk just like me. Okay, here we go. There we go. We tell many different types and styles of stories. Let's think about the movies again. I'm sure you've seen comedies, action adventure, serious dramas, romance, and horror films. Well, these are all different styles of stories, but the basic story structures are mostly the same. Another way to think about it is that the style of a story is how you would like your audience to feel after they hear your story. Maybe you've written an inspirational story that gives an audience hope. Maybe your story is a tragic story that reminds us that loss and grief are a part of life, and that how we deal with that grief is also important in our lives. As your story emerges, you will have the opportunity to decide what style your story will have. Maybe it's a combination of different styles. Keep an open mind and let your story grow organically. And most importantly, listen to your own story. For as they say, the best stories write themselves. All right, let's answer the following questions in your workbook or recording device. Now we will begin to shape our final stories based on the life experience you've chosen and the themes of our project. Remember, this is still an outline. Don't worry about writing perfectly or spelling everything correctly. There will be plenty of time for that later. This will be the roadmap for your story. It's similar to the earlier exercise we did, but with more detailed questions. Lastly, there are no wrong answers. But there is an opportunity for you to describe your experience with more detail and to make a bigger impact on your audience. Use your workbook or your recording device to answer the following questions. Remember, the beginning of our story can paint a picture of the world that your audience is about to enter. It's very descriptive and it sets the tone for your story. The middle of our story is where the action picks up, when important events start happening. These events will lead to a turning point or a climax, which is the most important moment in your story. The ending is where the audience learns about what happened after you made your choices and took your action. You're able to give your final thoughts about how this life experience impacted you or changed you. Well, that was a lot of work. You might even be feeling a little bit drained. Well, that's great. That means you're really diving deep into your story. And that's going to pay off when it comes time to present it to an audience. Now, unlike before, we will not be sharing our answers during this workshop, but we will begin the next workshop with sharing. Here's your homework. Maybe tomorrow or the next day, open up your notes again and read all of the different answers that you've written down so far. Sometimes it really helps to put our stories away for a few days, then come back to them with fresh eyes. You'll be inspired by your own words, I guarantee it. And you may even think of new moments or characters that you would like to add to your story. Now, don't forget to write those new thoughts down and bring them with you to the next workshop.